Hello everyone and welcome to Blind Beauty. I'm Jennifer. What I'm doing today is I am using the LA Colors Haute palette to do the look I have on my eyes right now, as well as some You Can Be brushes. Whoops, wrong thing. You Can Be brushes from Amazon.com. I believe you can get both of these items from Amazon.com. I know you can the brushes unless they're sold out, because they had 12 left in stock whenever I checked them. They're the You Can Be 12-piece brush set. And then this here is the Haute palette by LA Colors. It looks like this here. Really pretty colors of white. It's got some bronzy shades, pinky shades, yellow, greens, blues, purples. All that in here. And this is the palette that I used. The main colors I used are the second shade. Well, basically I used the first and second shades on the top row. I used the second shade and the 9th and 10th shade on the bottom row. And then I already had my face makeup done, but I go into what all I have on my face before I do the actual eye tutorial. So I do hope you enjoyed this, and what do you say? We get into it! Alright, what do you say? We get started! Now, I already have my face done. I'll go ahead and run through what I already have on so that y'all are aware. Now, I first did my e.l.f. Blemish Control Primer, which is right here. It's a green-looking primer by e.l.f. Then I also have on the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Foundation. I put that all over my skin and blended it pretty good. Then I have on my e.l.f. HD Concealer, which is a pretty decent, concealer in my opinion. All these products are actually pretty good products. The AOA Studio Translucent Perfect Powder. The Radiant Diamond Highlighter from Ulta Beauty. This is their Illuminator. And that's what I used for my highlight. And for my contour, I have on the light matte shade of the e.l.f. $2 bronzer. Right there. I have that on. And then I also have on the Wet n Wild Color Icon blush in Mellow Mauve. That's the blush that I have on today. So I think that gets us fairly well caught up. Now, I do have a little bit of primer on my lids already, but I thought I'd go ahead and, just for sake of it, do a little more here. I will be holding up my e.l.f. Mad for Matte palette as a mirror while I'm doing this look, because unfortunately I can't see in my camera, on my LCD, or not LCD, but the screen on my phone to tell what I'm doing, so I'll be using my e.l.f. Mad for Matte palette to do that. And the palette that we're going to be using is a rather colorful, very colorful palette. It is the LA Colors Haute palette. Now, I got this back whenever it was on clearance on Walmart.com for about $4. It has various bright shades and some muted as well, but it's a rather colorful palette. I believe you can still get this on Amazon.com, and the brushes I'm going to be using as well are from Amazon.com. Now, I don't have anything on my lips because I thought I'd do the eye look and then pick my lip color, but because, it's me, I'm going to put on this Skin Fix Natural Minty Mint Lip Repair Balm because my lips are feeling rather crackly. So, I'm going to put a little bit of that on. Now, foundation, I've already done a foundation how-to video before, so if you aren't familiar with how to do foundation, you can check that out. And if I remember to, I'll try to leave it linked below so that you can see that. Now, I've got all my brushes out here. I just don't have them in order necessarily. So, please bear with me. So, because sometimes I do get them all organized and in what order I'm going to use them and all that stuff, but I didn't do that today. So, but first color I'm going to take is the second shade on the top row. It's like a creamy, like a shimmery beige type color. I mean, real sparkly. I mean, every shade in this palette pretty much has some degree of shimmer or satiny look, but that is okay, because I'm learning that you can still put shimmery in the crease and it doesn't always look like it is shimmery, depending on whether it's glittery or satiny. So I'm putting that on my lid space, and I'm just using a flat brush. This came from the You Can Be 12-piece brush set. This is a really good deal brush set, by the way. And I am taking it on up to the brow bone as well, because this will be what I use probably as my highlight. So, but just putting that on the lid, just sweeping it pretty much. Now, if you wanted a more diffused look, then you could use a really fluffy brush to do that. But I wanted it to really lay down, just giving a base to the entire look. Now, I could have used the stark white shade if I wanted to, but I didn't want to go that route. So, and you can build this up. That's the thing about this palette. They do build nicely on each other. Now, let me know in the comments down below if you like my using this microphone, or whether you would prefer that I basically go back to how I did before. So, okay, thought I had, whoops, I just wiped highlight on my nose, but hey, that's okay. There we go. Alright, now we're going to go. I did not practice this ahead of time. I just have a look in my head, and that's what we're going to try to recreate. So, wish me luck, y'all. Wish me luck. I'm going to take the shade right below that golden shade. It's a real pretty, almost teal type color. Real bright, like a bluish green color is the best way I know to describe it. And it is very pretty. That's what it looks like on the brush. And I'm using the same brush. I have not switched brushes yet. Now I'm going to put that on the inner half of the lid. Now I switch it up from time to time. I'll start sometimes on the inner half, and then I'll, move to the crease. And other times I'll start in the crease and move to the inner half. Basically move my way down. But today I just thought I'd start on the inner half. Let's get the base shade going. So, this is a real pretty bright teal, but not over the top, in my opinion. I'm wearing a purple colored top right now. It's like a tank top sweatery type material. So, and then I'm going to go in with, let's see here. No, we're not using that one. Like I said, I did not practice this. I did not plan this for sure. Yeah, that's the shade we'll go in with. We're going to go in with this, like, almost dark lavender shade. And I'm going to get that on a... No, that's too detail-oriented. There's a brush in here. I'm trying to find the right brush is what I'm doing right now. So, like I said, please bear with me, y'all. Please bear with me. Now, this is a fluffy brush. I'll be using that to blend out the stuff. I've got some detail brushes. There's a whole bunch of brushes in this thing. So, but I think I'm going to start out with this real flat. I mean, to me, it almost looks like a spatula. If it were bent, it would remind me of a spatula because it's that flat. But I'm going to go in and pick up that lavendery shade on the very tip of it. I'm not getting it on the sides necessarily, just getting it on the tip. Now, I could have used that brush that I was using before and just done it, you know, the same way, basically. But I didn't. I chose to change brushes. So I'm going to put that color right on the outer V and into the crease. We're going to focus it, well, actually outer half, rather. And for that, I will need to put it on the side of the brush as well. So, I didn't think about that. So, I'm basically putting it on the outer half as well as up into the, or outer third, more like. And then just pulling it up into the crease. This is not the best brush for this idea. So I'm going to go back in with the brush we were using before and put it on the very tip of that brush, and that's what I'm going to work it into the crease. Now I could use that fluffy brush and do this, but I chose not to. So I do have a video that's like less in depth on eyeshadows if you do want to see a more simple look. So, unfortunately, you know, this palette is not the most pigmented palette, but you go with what you got, right? Right. I'm going to go into the slant tip. I keep trying to go into the e.l.f. palette instead of the other. But we're just rolling with it, y'all. We're rolling with it. Because it's not the brush's fault, it's the palette's fault. Because, like I said, it's not all that pigmented. But for someone like myself who doesn't do a whole lot of colorful things, it can work. Actually, I'm going to put some on my finger here. And put that on that outer half. When in doubt, use your finger. No joke. When in doubt, use your finger. Because if it's not pigmented enough, if you're using your finger, it will help to make it a little bit more pigmented at least. Keyword, little bit. So that's what I'm doing here. And I'm just going back in and basically doing the same thing on the other eye. Real quick. But yeah, LA Colors, I'm not real thrilled with their eyeshadows. At least the ones I have tried. But, you know, it was cheap. I think I only paid like $4 for it whenever I got it. But this just goes to show that there are ways to make things work. You just gotta be patient and slowly build. Like I said, I ended up doing the outer half of the look with this purple. So, and it's better anyway to go slow and slowly build than it is to put too much, because you can't necessarily take away stuff as easily as you can add to. I did a mask earlier, a Noxema face mask, and it kind of has my sinuses all wonky. So, if you hear me sniffling and whatnot, that's partly why. But I'm basically just adding to and just slowly building up this color layer by layer. layer by layer, adding to, adding to, adding to. Now I'm going to go in with that fluffy brush, if I can find it again. Keyword if. I know I saw it right here. And I'm going to kind of buff that out a little bit. Whenever you buff it out, it kind of expands the color, it blows it out, and it softens it. If you want that line between the lid and the crease to be softer, you can always blend that as well. I go over it lightly, but I'm pulling it up rather than down onto the lid. Doing the buffing motion here. Now, I did not do my eyebrows. I actually forgot about those. So, but I'll do those here in a few minutes too. I wanted to mainly have my face done because there's only so many times that you can see foundation applied, and you know, before it gets boring. I know not everybody has seen my videos, but you know, I have several videos where I did apply foundation. Now I'm looking for the brush I was using a minute ago here to apply the inner corner shade. Well, actually, this one will work better. This is, I think, meant to be a concealer brush for under the eyes, but I'm going to use it to go back into that shade at the very, well, that we used second, that teal colored shade. And the shade that I used of the purple is the next to last on the bottom, by the way. I wanted to clarify where that was. And I'm going to reinforce this teal on the inner corner real quick. Well, inner half, rather. Not corner, but inner half. Real bright. I mean, they're bright colors. They did awesome in this palette. It's just the darker colors that they're lacking. They slacked off on the dark colors. Alright. There we go. And now I'm going to take, and the brush I was looking for earlier, it was right in my hand. Yeah. Okay. Now, I'm going to take the very last shade on the bottom, which is a deep, almost plum looking color. And I'm going to put that in the outer corner and about halfway through the crease as well. I mean, if you can tell, that's a real pretty plummy, almost blue looking color, really. And they actually did a pretty good job with this one. I keep trying to go into the e.l.f. Mad for Matte palette. So, putting it about halfway in, and I'm not blowing this out. I'm focusing it right in there. And we are going to put some on the lower lash line anyway, so I'm not worried about it being down there. Making sure my brush was turned the right way. I'm focusing it more on closer to the lash line, and then I pull it up. I don't do the complete outer V. So, my left eye, I can't really see out of my left eye, so sometimes my left eye actually looks better because I can use my right eye to see it more, and sometimes it doesn't look so hot. Actually, I am going to cover in that the final quarter, basically, of that eye. Decided to do that. Makes it almost like it's a navy looking color, really. But it turned out less purpley and more navy. But that is okay. Alright. I'm going to get that same color on my finger and put it right on that outer corner. Like I said before, when it's not pigmented enough, use your finger. So, that's what I'm doing here. Got it a little bit too far out, but that's okay. I can match it on the other side. Just kind of blow it all out using that fluffy brush. Like I said, I did not practice this. Usually I have an idea in mind of what look I want to go for, and then I wing it. That might not be the most professional thing to do, but from what I've heard, Sabrina, who's a real big YouTuber here, she does the same thing. She gets an idea of a look, and she just does what she can. And I am wearing purple, so I kind of wanted to go along the purpley route. I'm going to go back in with that medium purple, the one next to last on the bottom, and we're going to buff out the outer edges of all this. Focusing it on the outer half rather than pulling it all the way in. Okay, and just put a little bit more of that one purple there on the outer. Trying to match my eyes up, and it wasn't wanting to work too well. Alright. Now if y'all can see, I have some fallout underneath. And I know I've already done my concealer and my powder and all that, but I still am going to take some concealer. I didn't leave that out, unfortunately, so I've got to get that out. I'm going to put some concealer under my eyes. Not a whole lot, just a little bit. Just to kind of clean that up just a little. Well, actually, go ahead and do the concealer, and then I'll do my lower lash line. Just do a few dots, basically. I'm using the e.l.f. HD concealer, the same concealer I used before. Anytime you mess up with eyeshadow, you can use your concealer to clean up whatever you messed up on. So, don't be afraid to mess up. That's my opinion, at least. No one's perfect. I have seen people like Emily Noel, Melissa, I don't remember what she's going by now. I think it's Raymond. Melissa Raymond. I've seen different YouTubers use concealer to clean up under the eyes. Oh, even Shan XO or something like that. I think I've seen her do it too. So, there's no shame in using a little concealer to clean up what you messed up on. Now I'm going to take this little detail brush here, and I'm going to go into that, let's see here. Yeah, I'm going to go into that final shade on the bottom. I'm going to put a little bit of that along the lower lash line using this little bitty brush. I mean, it's teeny tiny brush. And all these brushes, like I said, are from Amazon.com. They're the You Can Be brushes. Whenever I did this video, I saw that they only have like 12 left in stock. So, you know. But that ought to say something about them being how good they are. So, I'm focusing this right on that lower lash line. Let's give it a little bit of, or on that upper lash line rather, not lower. It's not wanting to show up too well though. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just trying to line my upper lash line. I'm going to take my e.l.f. misting set, which is another product I did use on my actual face, and I'm misting the brush. Then I'm going to go back into that shade. That is another tip for making it more pigmented as well. Wet your brush. Did not realize I was covering up my camera. It just gives a little extra pop to the lash line, basically. That's all. Nothing crazy. So, I am going to take another purpley shade, the lighter shade right before that. I'm going to take that shade, and the brush is still damp. I'm going to put that on my lower lash line. Really kind of just smudging it on there, rather. And I skipped the inner corner, actual inner corner. I'm going to go back in with that green. Wet, mind you. We're going to maybe even green and white. Both. Alright, now I'm going to go in with that darker purple again and do the outer edges of that lower lash line. Like the outer third. See what I mean about it? Just adds a little extra pop. I do apologize if I go out of frame. Well, not out of frame, but if I accidentally cover my face. But that's another thing, I've even seen Tati do that before, whenever she's doing her makeup. So, I'm just building, basically. Pulling it in about halfway with that darker shade. Alright. Now let's go in with that teal shade that I was using before. And I'm going to use this little bitty teeny weeny brush. Now this is what a lot of people would consider a lip brush. I'm going to put that, really make sure it's focused on that inner part. Actually, I'm going to wipe that brush off, because I'll use that here in a minute. But we're going to go ahead and go back into the brush we were using before, if I can find it again. Right here. Nope, that ain't it. Being visually impaired, sometimes it's hard to see where stuff is. So I do apologize if that frustrates y'all. I know it frustrates me. And I'm the one doing it. It was under the palette. Great place for it, right? I'm taking that brush, the real small brush that I said was the concealer type brush, and I'm going to reinforce that green on the inner half. Yeah, I know one time I was looking up colors, like for eye colors, what color would go good with what eye color, and they say that green can help bring out green in the eyes, as long as you're not doing, you know, too close to the actual shade of green you have. Now I'm going to spritz this brush and I'm going to reinforce that color even more. Now whenever I do that, I don't take it and go all over the entire shade. You could always get the color on there and then spritz your brush as well. I mean, can you tell how much more intense that is now? I mean, my eyes just kind of scream at you now. That teal, real pretty teal. Like light teal, not like dark, deep turquoise or whatever. But this is real pretty. Then I'm going to take, this is, the outer edges just aren't screaming to me as dark as I want them to, but they're okay. I'm hoping to eventually get some deep, dark, plummy purples eventually. Keyword, eventually. Now I'm going to take this white. Now I've been using the back of my hand to swatch here. I'm going to take that and put it on my pinky. It's the very top shade, the very first shade at the top. I'm going to put that on the inner corner. I mean, right on that tear duct area. It's not really, some of the bright shades are really bam in your face bright, over the top. But this is not one of them. I mean, it's more subtle than, say, the green shade, unless you build it up like I'm doing. So, now, I'm going to go in with that teeny tiny brush, if I can find it again. A little bitty brush. These brushes, by the way, are great for traveling if you do want to travel this holiday season or whatever. Now, I don't know if they'll get more in stock or not, but, you know, now I'm going to go back in with that white, and that's what I'm going to put on that inner tear duct area, right on that inner corner, lower lash line, that I said I wasn't putting that purpley shade in. That's why. So, go ahead and put a little bit more. I don't have my eyes completely even. I've been watching Glam Masters lately, and they're so precise on getting everything exactly even and exactly right, and so, and I'm a little, just a tiny bit of a perfectionist myself, so, you know, just a teensy tiny bit. Okay. Now, since I've been holding this e.l.f. Mad for Matte palette, let's go into that, and that's what I'm going to use to do my brows. Let's do those brows. That's why a palette like this is very versatile. I mean, and this especially being all matte. I'm going to go in with the 5th shade over, and I'm using this slanted brush, which is like a slanted eyeliner brush, really. This shade I'm using is like a reddish brown instead of the typical taupey brown that you normally see me use. I'm going to put that in my brows. Just filling them in, basically. Well, not really filling them in, but, you know. Well, yeah, filling them in, putting them on, whatever you want to call it, coloring them in. Making it blend better with my red hair. From what I've heard, green really helps make red pop. And no, that is not why I originally did the teal on the lids, but, you know, still, it's real pretty. More of a spring look, though, than a fall, but the purpley helps make it more of a fall tone. Now I'm going to go in with the 8th shade over, which is a deeper, darker color here. Go ahead and do it like this where you can see right there. Okay, and I'm going to put that more in the center. It's a more cool tone, but it will help define that inner, or that, basically it'll help define the arch better, is what I'm getting at. Alright, that's good enough. Take my finger and just kind of run it through a little bit. Now you could use a spoolie, believe it or not, that's one thing this set does not have, is a spoolie. Alright, now I'm going to curl my lashes, and I'm just using a thing I got in a box, a subscription box here, to curl them. Looking in a mirror for a second. Curl my lashes real good. Just pumping it on. And then I'm going to be using 2 different mascaras, actually. I think. No, I'm just going to go with the one. I'm going to use the Essence I Love Extreme Volume mascara. Now, my hair is trying to get in my face here. And that's what I'm going to put on my top lashes. I don't really focus on my bottom lashes as much, but, you know, I do it sometimes. Got a hair that's driving me nuts. I have my hair up in a chignon style. I was trying to find hairstyle videos one day and to get inspired, and found one where the girl did like a chignon and then she had her sides out and then kind of crisscrossed them over, but she had longer hair than I do. And I thought, huh. So I was talking to my sister earlier and playing with my hair and doing different things, and I kind of have it up in a triple, what I call a triple chignon. It's a triple play chignon. Because my hair is so layered, it would be hard to get it all in one. So, I just did a light coat of mascara. Now here comes the fun part, picking out a lipstick. I think what I'm just going to do is I'm going to go with a barely, you know, like a nudie type lip, just because, or more played down lip instead of bold and bright. I think I might go with this here. Yeah, this is what I'm going to go with. Because I do have a more wine color cheek with the mellow wine. And then I have the purple on the eyes, so why not go with a mauve-y, which is like a pinky gray lip. This is Magnificent Mauve by Maybelline Color Sensational. I mean, real pretty. Y'all can't tell I use it a lot, can you? But I'm going to put that on real quick. And that right there, y'all, is the finished look. Let me know what you think, and let me know if you like my using the microphone, if you can hear me better, if I should, you know, do away with the microphone and go back to how I used to be. I'm trying to get back into a schedule and everything, and there's things going on that just have me kind of all over the place right now, so I do apologize for not having videos up more than 2-3 times a week right now. I do hope to eventually start getting videos back up 5 days a week again. You know, but with holidays and testing out products, who knows, you know. So, thank y'all so much for watching, and I do hope you follow me on all my social media, and I have all my links down below, as well as Facebook group, Facebook page, Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram, all that jazz. So, I will talk to y'all soon, and y'all have a great day. Bye-bye.